Wouldn't even notice it.
All right, guys, we're going to get started in just a minute here. Give the stragglers a minute to jump on. Thank you guys for all being here. You're on Facebook Live too. Cool. Thanks, Cece.
Yes, we are.
Eloise.
Can we start by singing happy birthday?
Yes.
He's 1.
Yeah.
All right, guys, everybody unmute yourself. All right, ready? 1, 2, 3.
Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Eloise. Happy birthday to you.
Oh, that sounded amazing. We'll quit our day jobs. All right, so let me get notes. All right. So how's everybody doing?
Surviving.
Good, surviving, figuring it out. All right, so we're missing a couple. Really needed everybody to be here for this today.
Tracy and Dawn both will not be joining us.
Okay, I saw Dawn. I didn't see Tracy. Okay. All right, guys. So a couple of different things. So obviously, you know, I hope everybody is doing well, dealing with their new normal. You know, I know that this is kind of unique situation or unique times that we're in, unprecedented times, whatever you guys want to call them. I want to make sure, most importantly, that we're keeping up with our committees. And so we're continuing to have conversations. If you do, well, you guys should be running, you know, a group team meeting monthly. Start doing that via Zoom. I know that a lot of this stuff has been put on hold, yet we need to continue to keep moving forward. Speaking with Jason Abrams this morning, talked to a lot of the leaders around our Carolinas region this morning. One of the things that he was talking about, I want to share this with you guys because it was really important. I shared this with the leadership this morning already, is how are we having conversations with the agents in our office right now? How are we having conversations with cross-sale agents? And so most important thing, he said, is to build it into what he calls a Lego piece, okay? And so your Lego piece should be the content and the message that you want to deliver to that person. It should be about 3 to 7 minutes, okay? And so how we do is we start this conversation through gratitude. So very much like starting this meeting today, you know, hey, I appreciate all you guys being here, appreciate the things that you do for our office on a daily basis. We always want to start with gratitude. And this is, if you guys have read the book, The 1 Minute Manager, this is what we call a love sandwich, okay? Mo Anderson calls it a love sandwich. The next thing we want to do after we have embraced people with gratitude is we want to go into the content, or we want to go into that Lego piece. And so today we're going to go into our content that we need to talk about in my list over here of conversations that we need to have as an ALC. Then from there, after we go through the content, we need to develop the action plan. We need to figure out what is going to be the results of coming up with this, hey, Matt, I've got a problem. This is an issue. This is what we need to do. Let's come up with an action plan on how to resolve it. And then lastly, after we've come up with our action plan, we want to go back to gratitude. And I think this is how we really reach people. One of the things that Jason said yesterday on the national call that kind of resonated with me was talking about culture. And so no pressure, Becca, okay? Yet I know you guys all have culture. You guys wouldn't be here, right? And so the reason why companies such as ours thrive in these shifting markets is because we're based off of a culture. We're based off of a very strong culture. We're not just nickel and dime. It's not just numbers. And so as a result, when we're based off of culture, when that is at the core, that is what's going to make us sustainable through all of the shifts that are coming in the market. I did want to speak to an email that I had sent out the other day, guys, in regards to EXP. Everybody got that email from me? Okay. Now, guys, I want to make it crystal clear because Zach Boncheck and myself had some conversation back and forth. So I want to clarify. I'm information fact sharing with you guys. This is not a let's go bash EXP. Okay. It's not about that at all. A lot of you guys are friends with me on Facebook. You've seen me putting some posts up in regards to the cuts that EXP has made, the cuts that Compass Group has made, Realogy. This is just fact-finding information for you guys to use and tuck in your back pocket, okay? This, guys, you guys all know when you're talking to cross-sale agents or newer agents, it's if we say the message that, well, your company did this and your company did that, it's not going to be delivered the right way. Now, you need to know what their company is doing so you can craft a better conversation. So I wasn't clear in my email, and that's kind of the message I want to make clear to you guys today, is that we know that these things are going on at these other companies, and that's fine. We've never been a company that is going to bash somebody else. Our job, and what we need to do a better job of, is telling our story and telling our story at a higher level, okay? And then that way we can work in things to the conversation. I don't need to tell an EXP recruit that, you know, their admin staff just laid off 15% of admin across the entire country. If they don't know that, it is what it is. What I do need to do is I need to say the message from Keller Williams, and that message is a couple of things that we're doing to help our agents through this time right now is, you know, we've gone ahead and reduced dues by 50%. We've gone ahead and reduced any office rent or desk fees by 50%. We need to know what's going on at the other companies, but it shouldn't be brought up in conversation. Does that make sense to everybody? Mm-hmm. Okay. I wanted to make that clear, and I know I didn't. So when I'm sending emails and sharing emails with you guys in the future, it's fact-finding information for you guys to have yourself. And that's really all it is. So you've got it kind of in your back. I don't want anybody being like, oh my God, look at this, that, the other thing, or attacking somebody, because then you're not coming from gratuity, as we were talking about with the Lego piece. You're not coming from gratuity there. You're just, hey, look at what you did wrong, or hey, you can really insult somebody the wrong way because they're going to say, well, okay, great, thanks, I screwed up. You know, what am I supposed to do now? I'm not going to come join your company because you just told me how I screwed up. So we all get that? Make sense? Cool. Okay. Awesome. All right. So let's dive right in today. Red Day. I'm going to start with Red Day. Obviously, with everything that's going on, there's going to be, we don't know, Red Day is not going to look like Red Day typically looks, okay? It's going to be a different type of Red Day. We're going to probably circle back to Red Day. If anybody does have any suggestions or things that you think we can do for Red Day, please go ahead and share them now. Shoot an email, whatnot. I know that KW as a company is going to be rolling something out, I believe, later this week, Cece.
As far as I know, it'll be sometime this week.
And so, guys, we will most likely probably follow in suit with whatever that approach is going to be. But if anybody has anything, I wanted to, you know, go ahead and have you put your 2 cents in now. Becca, I know what you were planning to do is probably off the table now. Is that correct? You're muted.
Yes.
There you go. Okay, so that's completely off the table, right? Because that would be physical. All right, that's just what I want to make sure. So if you have anything, or if anybody else has any other thing about Red Day, please let us know. Does anybody have anything they want to talk about now with Red Day?
What was being planned?
The plan was to go back to, I don't remember the name of the place we went last year.
Yeah, the Barium Springs, the orphanage.
Yeah, okay.
That was going to be the plan, which obviously is changed now. So
What day is Red Day?
May 7th.
Okay.
It is Thursday, May the 14th.
Oh, I thought it was always May 7th.
It's always the second Thursday of May.
Okay. Next, want to have a conversation about the phone system. And this is, I'm going to need some input and some feedback from you guys right now. The phone systems that we have in the office. Now, I've come from offices in the past that don't even have phone systems set up. There is a cost, and any cost we know impacts your profit share. So we want to have just kind of a general conversation around first of all, who's using the phone system?
No one in the lower level, when they made those modifications, there are not physical jacks there, so can't tie in.
Well, I believe Christy Walker's using it.
Yeah, but I'm saying where the area like where I am and where the modifications were. Christy's office was always there. So that space for Christy, and then behind her, there are phone jacks on that side, but on the other side, whenever they came in and put those cubes and whatnot, they did not put hard wire jacks in there.
Gotcha. Okay. Matt, I saw you raising your hand. Are you using the phone system?
We were trying to. So we have, the phones now in the office, but I don't know that we have like a direct number to our office. So it's just like an intercom system right now to the front desk. But yeah, we were trying to get it to where somebody could call, say Amanda or whoever's in the office to for various. We have various leads or signs that we put out there. So just having a central person to receive calls.
Understood. Okay. Anybody else using the phone system, or questions or comments about the phone system? Cece, do you have the number on what it's running us monthly right now?
It's $799 and change
A month.
a month
Okay.
for 4 dial-in direct numbers and 17 extensions in-house. Matt, what you have are 2 extensions in-house.
We have two extensions.
Correct, 2 extension numbers.
So somebody could call, I guess, the office and do extension something.
Yes, a call can be transferred from the front desk to your office.
That's a lot, $800 a month for if it's just like 2 teams that are working it, or I mean, I guess we have the main office using it, or you guys are using it, right?
We have one dial-in direct number for Keller Williams, and McNaught has a dial-in direct number. Otherwise, it's extensions. It's just if people call into the main number, and then we can use a 4-digit extension to move you around to staff members.
So if it's just 2 people, or just the office and then McNaught, how much would it be?
That's a very interesting question. It's not a terribly clear answer. We have an opportunity to get it down about $175 in the immediate. There are some terms in place that are presenting a challenge for going any further than that right now.
Who's it through?
What's that?
Phonality.
Who?
Phonality. That's the company.
Are we contractually obligated?
Yes.
Until when?
2022.
Why does it cost so much?
That's when I say there are terms in place that make it challenging. That's one of the terms. Yeah.
What's the termination? Is there like a termination clause that says you can?
Well, and so that's where we're not there yet. And so let me back up for a second and just kind of explain why we're having this conversation. When Cece and I were flying back from Dallas for family reunion, we were going through all of our expense lines and breaking it down and really seeing what we're paying for and what is the value in that. You know, as you guys all know, Circle Pix was one of those things, right? And so what we're determining, and you guys as being the leaders in the office, the conversation that we're having is, you know, are we really seeing people use this, and or can we eliminate some of it? Can we eliminate all of it? And then, you know, what would the savings be for the market center, resulting in more profit share for all of the agents? So that's kind of what we're doing here. And so I guess, are you guys, I'm seeing, the reason this is a topic of conversation is because we're not seeing the agents really use the phone system. We're not. And would anybody disagree with me on that? I think there's a couple exceptions. I think Christy Walker's team is one of those exceptions. But are we really seeing the majority use the phone system or not?
No.
So now
I don't
there's
think
going
enough to cost that fee.
say that again.
I don't think enough to justify that fee.
Right.
And that's exactly what we're weighing out here. So
Now I'm confused. So I know that they being Wendy or whomever had a new phone system put in place like a year or so ago.
that's the system.
Yes.
Yes. So, but when I was upstairs a long time ago, I actually had a phone line, and it was a dedicated phone line just to me. So when I moved out of that space, I took that phone line, we ported it out of the Keller Williams number database, if you will.
To keep the number, you mean?
To keep the number, exactly, because all my stuff had that number on there, and then we moved it to the space that I moved into. Then when I came back into the building, I could not then transfer that because there was no landline, if you will, for me to then plug and play a phone into to then port that number back in. So now what I'm hearing you say is, based on this new phone system, you cannot have, there's no one upstairs that has dedicated numbers. It is just the extensions, and
Correct.
they have to call into the main office to then get transferred, which kind of honestly then defeats the purpose if you're asking me, because then, like Matt, for instance, then all your sons would have to have the office number, and then they would then transfer them to your extension, but that's not really what you would want to do in your business, I wouldn't think.
Right.
Correct. And it would be easier just to go ahead and set up a Google Voice. If you guys have used Google Voice, it's free. You can set it up on your cell phone. I have two. I have my cell phone number, and then I have a Google Voice that both come into this phone. And that would probably be the easier thing to do. Now, as Matt was talking earlier about having a dedicated, centralized person to answer and field phone calls, well, you just make their cell phone that, and it actually shows you that it's ringing from a different number. The reason why we want to just kind of have this conversation is I know we're going to get some pushback. I don't think we're going to get a ton of pushback. And it's probably something I'm going to have to sit and talk with Christy about, because I know all of her stuff is dedicated to that number. And we can't keep that number, correct, Cece?
I would have to ask the question. I don't know the answer to that.
Okay. One of the other things too, guys, and I'm working on another contract right now, and this is kind of the next topic, is the Muzak service that we pay for. What is that, 50 something a month?
58 and change a month.
So it's about $60 a month. I don't think anybody really cares about the music system. You guys tell me differently. Again, we're looking at, cutting costs right now. That's the point of this.
Yeah, I mean, the only time I hear it is when I go to the restroom.
Yeah, it's off upstairs half the time anyway, because people are trying to have phone conversations. So it's in the bathroom, and it's like maybe downstairs at the front desk. That's the only people that are utilizing
In
it.
that, in the printer space downstairs, but there are no speaker systems in that modified area, so you can't hear it back there anyways.
Well, and again, this is just something that I think has been costing the office money for years. And I'm a little irritated with this one, because apparently it was on a 2-year contract. that was up in September, yet the contract automatically renews for another 2 years. And so we're working with the attorney right now to get us out of that contract, unless anybody has a really large objection to getting out of the MUSAC contract. Speak now or forever. Thank you. Okay.
Going back to the phone system, I will tell you, I mean, to lose numbers, that was a huge undertaking to have to switch all of my stuff. And I'm still dealing with the repercussions because I don't know all the places that I've put my work number, the landline number. So people are still calling me and saying, oh, you're out of business whenever they see me. I tried to call, so, I would just really try to figure out how to port those numbers into something different so that that's not such an impact on the people who actually are using those.
And that's one of the challenges that we're having around this, because I think you guys would agree $800 a month is too much for a phone system, right? I think we're all in agreement there. Yet the people it's going to impact, I'm thinking about Christy specifically, it's going to be very difficult in how we do that. And Susan, you're 100% correct. And so that's why we're having these conversations, because we need to be, we need now more than ever, we need to have our expenses down, and we need to be really skinny, for lack of better terms. Okay.
We could have a dedicated cell phone, for Christie's office or something for, less than $50 a month.
Yeah, but you still, it's more not that, it's the number.
The phone number changing.
Can they,
Phone number.
can they port that number?
Well,
Cece's gonna.
we don't know the
Cece's
answer
gonna ask that question.
this time.
Okay. Mhm.
Well, and even like the Keller Williams front desk number, that's a lot of places as well,
Well, that would most likely remain. What we would do is we would keep, and Cece, correct me on this, please. We would keep the main line number. We would keep McNaught's number because they have to have a dedicated line. And then like members of leadership would keep a phone, yet we're just looking to cut out the other miscellaneous costs of it. That make sense?
Or maybe even ask Christy if she wants to pay for her line part. I don't know. I'm just throwing that out there because y'all have no idea, and I'm still dealing with it right now. And that was a year and a half ago, 2 years ago.
I get it. No, I get it, because all the stuff for my business is on the Google Voice. All the stuff for my personal is on my cell phone number. I'm sorry, all the stuff for Cornelius is on my cell phone. All the stuff for Valentine is on a Google Voice. So I have to do the same exact thing, and I get them crossed as it is anyways. So I get it. We're bringing this up for topic of conversation right now because I think it's an expense that we can cut or at least trim. And and this is why we're having this conversation. And I don't know if we can export that number. Cece will ask the question. Yet that's kind of the goal of this, and that was kind of the point of the conversation. So anything more on expenses? We've done some pretty good, and I got to give Cece a lot of credit, guys. She's gone through and made tireless phone calls to get rid of some of the expenses that we have and that we don't need. I've had to butt heads with this Mood Media right now and dealing with that, so that's not enjoyable either.
I started that one and passed that one off to him.
yeah, and I'm not even going to go into detail with the headache that is right now. Some of the other stuff that we're monitoring and watching, with our expenses, guys, we pay for a service called Broker Kit. I know Rob and Katrina, you guys are on Broker Kit with me, and CC as well. With what Command is doing now, Command is going to basically take over that piece so we can do away with Broker Kit. Broker Kit is going to save us, what is it, 36?
Is that one 300 or 400?
I don't remember, but I think it's the 300. It's going to save us $3,600 a year. And Broker Kit is a retention tool that we use with the agents when you get the mass emails. Also, it's a recruiting tool that we use to bring agents in. So what I'm doing is I'm weaning myself off of that and onto the command section of it. Again, we're just looking to cost cut and really increase the profit share of our office. So questions on any of that stuff? All right. Moving on to policies and procedures. So Rob, I know you were taking a look at the policies and procedures manual that we have in place. Again, this is something that Cece and I have been working on since family reunion and adjusting and tweaking it for every individual situation. For example, Matt, on your team, Brooke and Caleb being a husband-wife team, and then joining the Market Center as a husband-wife team. As we know, joining Keller Williams as a husband-wife team, you guys share one cap. Well, now that the cap has been moved from a 22 down to an 8,500, do you still share one cap? The result we came back with was, yes, you do still continue to share one cap, yet that's the point of these policies and procedures, to make sure we're doing them the right way. And I don't think, CC, correct me on this, but I don't think they've been updated since like 2016 or something like that. So
There'd been a few minor ones about a year ago, but yeah, a mass review had been long overdue.
We're also, now we're running into a couple questions around people selling personal property that have not done sales volume. And so that's a conversation that I'm dealing with right now. Because as we know, you guys capped agents, you will not pay into personal property sale if you're currently already doing business, have a piece of business done within that year. And once you guys cap, that doesn't matter anyways. So this is, Cece, have we shared the policies and procedures with everybody or no?
Yes, I distributed them all last week, twice. We had a few reactions from Dawn Durning that I know of. I don't believe I've received any others.
Yep, I saw 2 notes from her on it. Yeah, Matt.
I read through it this morning. I skimmed through it, and so yeah, it had some good info in there. I guess on the team cap, I was curious how, who tracks that? Cece, is there a separate?
So I have a Google sheet. It's literally that basic.
Okay.
Your team probably this year, since you've grown, since you added agents at the end of last year, you probably will hit that cap, and we'll start, for the first time, we'll do that refund to you of the capped amounts. You haven't hit it yet.
Right. Is that something you can share? I can be, or is it?
It's pretty rough. If you'll give me until after transmittal.
Okay.
Next week,
yeah, definitely.
end of next week, then I'll be happy to sit down with you and show you what we've got so far. Because
Okay.
it just started, so officially that will start. The reason it's rough is because it's not official yet.
Yeah.
So when we distribute it today,
Yeah.
assuming approval, we'll consider it official, and that's when it starts.
Okay.
And I think that this really only applies to you right now, Matt, anyways.
It does.
I don't think there's anybody else. And so those of you guys, just so everybody is on the same page, we do have a team cap in our office. In addition to your $22,000 cap that you guys are paying, there is a team cap which caps out at $66,000. So if you do have a team or desires to grow a team bigger, understand that once you hit 66, you stop, and the remainder revenue goes back to the Rainmaker to disperse amongst the team as they choose to use for marketing or whatever they want to do. Does that make sense to everybody? Any questions?
It's a good recruiting tool for teams out there.
It is, yeah. Because it's not just based off of the number of people they have, it's just based off of a dollar amount. And then just like our regular cap, it's 100% for them for the rest of the way. So, okay. So policies and procedures, going back to that real quick. I want you guys to look into those. I want you guys to dig into those. And I want you guys to give me some scenarios that, hey, well, what if this were to happen? So that we can get something in place sooner rather than later, because sometimes having to figure it out right on the spot is not the best thing to do. And then once we have reviewed that, probably our next ALC meeting, If you guys have any comments, questions, issues, whatnot, we'll talk about it. And then we'll have everybody sign off on that as the new policies procedures manual. Okay. All right.
How about something more major, like, you know, where it is the split or something between the office? Is that something that's been talked about? You know, it's 70-30 now. I mean, temporarily it's 85-15.
Yep.
And then has there been more discussion on that, or everything's kind of staying the same there, or is that up for discussion? Or
So the conversation has been had because there have been some Keller Williams firms that are changing that. Understand our market and how our market works. Our market works as if we've got to look at the market centers and the OPs, right? So basically we've got Cornelius, Mooresville, we've got, and that's Ken, so that's one person. Then you've got Concord, that's Steve Burke. You've got South Park, that's Mark. You've got Janice down in Fort Mill. You've got Brenda and Valentine. You've got Robert Smedley in Union County. I think those are all the market centers, not talking about business centers, just market centers. And basically, if there's going to be a change to a split, or if there's going to be, talking a permanent change, or a change to cap dollar amount, that's a conversation for that level. And Matt, you're right. The idea has been talked about. If you guys have been on the Thrive calls, you know, Gary Keller did change the one in Austin, Texas. And they changed both. They did change the splits, and they did change the cap amount. Now, obviously, I'm sorry, say that again.
What is it? What did he change it to?
He changed his, I don't remember what it was originally. It was not as high as ours just because the Austin market's not there. I think they were maybe at like a 18,000 instead of a 22,000. Don't quote me on that. They went down to a 12,000 cap, and they went to 80-20 permanently. Or whatever. They're at 80-20. It's not a temporary like we have with our 85-15 right now. I do know that Charleston adjusted theirs as well. But down there's only 2 Charleston offices. So the thing is, if we were going to go ahead and change right now, right, for example, and we said, okay, we want to compete with EXP, so let's drop it to 16,000, and let's make our cap 80-20, right? Well, number one, it's going to impact the profit share dollars for all of the agents, hands down, because there's less money coming in, just plain and simple. So the profit share dollar amount will go down.
but you might have more people, like, you know, more people would come in though too.
Well, and yeah, so hold on a second. So yes, we would think that, right? Yet if we're the only office doing it, it's going to be problems where all the other Keller Williams come to our office, right? So that's why that conversation has to be had on the OP level. The OP is going to have that conversation with the ownership group, okay? And I know some of you guys are owners that are on this. Okay, so with that being said, the other thing is if you switch the cap, right, to an 80-20 or whatever, do you know how much sales volume you actually need to do at an 80-20 in order to pay in $16,000? Does anybody know? If you break the math down, it's 2.6 million. So really, it's the same exact sales volume that the agent is doing, yet because they're keeping 80% instead of 70%, it's taking them basically the same amount of time that it would take one of our agents at 2.5 million at a 70-30 split. Did I lose everybody with the numbers?
No.
Okay, so you guys understand what I'm saying. So it's really looking like the same amount of sales volume just to get there if you change the split. Now, if you leave the split the same and we keep it at a 70-30 and then we move the cap number, now it's only $2 million to cap and you'd have more capping agents. So that's the conversation. And again, guys, I'm speaking a little out of turn here because this conversation is above me, okay? So it has been brought up because of what Gary Keller did, yet understanding that each office is franchised, independently owned and operated, and the OPs have to play nice in the sandbox, so to speak, so they're all on the same level. Pretty much across the board, we try and mirror the numbers for what we call the Charlotte pod, which are those offices I just listed off. And I got to get off of this bunny trail because I got a couple more things to talk about. But we typically are right in line. Now, I know we just talked about, Matt, we talked about with a team cap. And I will tell you, because I'm a rainmaker in the Valentine office, the team cap in our office is 66,000. The team cap in the Valentine office is 81.5. So that does make a difference to you as a rainmaker of a bigger team that's going to hit those numbers. But that's really one thing that the pod just hasn't gotten together on. And I think that's because literally there's so few people that are in that category, if that makes sense. Okay. So I'm not going to say that it is or isn't going to happen. The conversation's out there. I don't know how real that's going to come to fruition. You guys as ALC members, you know that some of these conversations we have don't come to fruition. I just don't want to make any empty promises to team members or anything like that. We don't want to overpromise and underdeliver. Okay. So policies and procedures, we're going to take a look at that. One thing that I would really like to do is I want to dig into the 4 fundamental models. Okay. I'm sorry, I skipped one. The duties and responsibilities of the ALC members. I want you guys to go look back and look at what we had talked about to be part of the ALC. I really want you to be coming up with some Zoom meetings, to be still interacting and talking. What are we doing with safety right now, right? Matt, what new changes are coming with tech? I'm sure there's 100 across the board, right? And I know Sue's been doing some stuff with that. But I would expect you to be having a committee meeting with her on a monthly basis, and anybody else who's on your committee. Susan, what are we doing with education right now? As a result, I know we put a kind of a hold on Ignite. I know we've been doing those 2 p.m. Pivot PJ classes. Who are you talking with? Who is in your committee? And finding out more creative ways that we can be doing more education right now. Katrina, I know you do your productivity coaching, script coaching in the morning, or script practice role play. And I know you recently changed that to give more time into that. So, what are we doing from a PC point of view? And I know it's not a committee, but it's still something we need to be updated on. As you guys see, Rob and Terry, they update us every team meeting on changes, things that are happening. Becca, culture, right? Where are we at with culture right now? What are we doing? I know we've got, the 4 p.m. Thursday socials, and I apologize, I haven't been on the last couple because I've been using that time to play catch up. What else could we be doing just to kind of love on our agents a little bit? I know, Katrina, I'll pick on you. I know you're not a hugger, right? And you want everybody to stay away from you, and that's awesome. People that are huggers, Becca, right? I know you're a hugger, right?
I'm unwell. I'm unwell.
Well, you got Lucy in the background to help you out. But how are we touching our people? Because we all have different personalities and different ways, shape, or form. How do we keep up that culture? So I really want you guys to dig in. And before next ALC meeting, guys, I really want to start seeing meeting notes coming from you guys. And that's part of the agreement of being on ALC. So let's make sure that we're doing that for your duties and responsibilities. Does anybody have any questions around that?
I don't have a question. Sorry, I had a text. But I think that maybe one of the things that might be good, because I did join, of course, I joined late last week, and I haven't been really on that either. I'll tell you, it was just Cece and Rachel and what's that other girl? What's her name?
What are you talking about?
Kelsey. It was happy hour. Just talking about happy hour Thursday.
Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah. And it was really kind of cool because I'd never met that other girl, whatever her name is.
Kelsey.
What?
Kelsey.
Okay. But I think that it might be something good for like the ALC, like to not necessarily make it mandatory, but really try to make us really be a part of that, to your point, PJ. and really engage in that happy hour. Just, it's 1 hour, but I think if we start all going on the calls, then it'll create a precedence for other people to start going on them, and we'll get more participation.
Yeah, and that's, you know, that's kind of why I wanted everybody to be here on this today, because guys, this is the time when agents are looking to leadership, and that's what all of us are, right? Justin, maybe you got a safety tip that you can throw out, right? Or something like that you can just put in. You guys are all getting the daily update that I've been putting out.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And so, you know, maybe if Justin, if you've got some ideas for safety tips you want to send to me, I can throw them into that email as well. You know, guys, I don't want to bombard our people across the board with emails either. Yet I do want to make sure that they know that they can reach out to us. One of the things that we've been talking about on the 2 p.m. pivot that we've been doing is, you know, who's that agent right now in the office that you're worried is not going to make it? Who is that agent that you feel is going to fall out of the business? Or maybe they're just putting their head in the sand right now because they don't know what's going on. I may not be as concerned about this group of people because you guys are leaders in your own right. And I guess I shouldn't say that yet. You know, I know you guys are going to be able to figure it out to have sustainable businesses. Yet who may need some guidance? Who may need some help? Or, you know, Susan, do you throw a Zoom class on there for an hour about what we're seeing going on in the market and what we're not? And let's have a mastermind with, you know, Matt and Justin or something like that, right? We need to show them that we're reaching out to them, and we need to make it interactive so that people are getting on that. If you guys aren't getting on that 2 p.m., I know some of you are, I know some of you aren't, get on that. We're going through all the shift tactics right now. And I think that's something that everybody needs to hear right now. I know yesterday was a lot about math, and I'm sure that they're pretty, I don't want to come back to pivot after that. Today's not about math, okay? But those are the things that we need to be doing and need to be showing them that we're not, the quieter we are, the further they're going to move away. And so we need to be reaching out. And, you know, if you know that agent, and Susan, I'll pick on you for a second. If I know Susan's going to fall out of the business, or I'm afraid that her business is not going to be sustainable through this shift, I need to call her and I just need to check on her and, you know, go back to the Lego piece. Like I said, you know, hey, Susan, you're an awesome agent. How are you doing? You know, how's everything going? Do you need anything? This is what we're seeing right now. Are you doing any of this in your business? Talk to me about what you are seeing, what you are doing. What aren't you doing that you should be doing? And hey, let's put an action plan in place to do that. Because, you know, Susan, I love you. I value you. I think you're a great agent, you know, and I want us to come out stronger on the other side of this thing. So that's, you got it, girl. That's what we need to be doing right now as leaders. And that's really, I know I kind of went through that fast. That's the conversation that we need to be having. People are probably getting tired of hearing from, you know, Rob, Katrina, myself, Cece. And so reaching out and from one of you guys may have more of an impact, if that makes sense. So let's make sure that we are taking care of our people. Last thing.
For a second.
Yeah, go ahead.
Susan, thank you for bringing that up about the happy hour, because that's one of the things I know in the PC program, people are like, where's everybody? Where's the other people in the office? I'm getting the 9 to 12 people that are in the PC program asking me where everybody is. And they commented, it was nice to see Matt step forward and teach a class the other day. It was nice to see, I mean, they're coming to me and I'm like, oh, they're working, they're still doing stuff. So even if you jump in to teach a little class here or there, really helps. And I know the happy hour, I haven't been because I've been sick the last couple of weeks, but just so they can see our personalities and stuff like that. It's not me to get in front of people with face masks on, but we did it as fun to like show the people like we're human beings. And I know we all have life going on around us, but you made a great point. We can all time block out that 1 hour or teach a class like Matt did the other day. Interact in that Facebook group too, guys. Even if you just see something to share, that's really huge because a lot of people are watching that and looking at it.
Hey, Katrina, you know how you make that list, like with the agents and like assigned people to call?
Yes.
Can we maybe pull that list back out and then add or subtract or whatever, and then like assign people so that we can have dedicated people to call?
Cece's got an amazing list.
I'm not taking this one.
No. I'm saying you gotta make a list. I'm gonna work from Cece's list and I'll assign it like that for all of us again. And there's a note section for all of us to be able to track and keep accountability to each other.
Because I think that would be, and maybe like we rotate it or whatever, like, you know, so that they're not hearing from the same person every time, but somehow to where we can, because I mean, to be honest, and I, you know, this is all on me, but I really don't know a lot of the agents, particularly the new agents. And like I said, which, I mean, until Cece had to say it 3 times, I still couldn't remember that girl's name, you know, Chelsea. But so
Now you'll never forget it.
I know, now I'll never forget it, right? But it, you know, I think that it will make people, particularly the new agents, feel better about it. And then one of the things when you said, PJ, on the, you know, your daily notes or whatnot, like put in there, because I have been struggling, and honestly, I mean, and to your point, we're all like dealing with life right now. But I have been struggling with just what do we, from an education perspective, what do they want to do? And, you know, so maybe if you just put something in there that says, hey, you know, we recognize that the Ignite classes have been put on hold. If there are specific classes that you guys would like for us to teach, please reach out to Susan Johnson, and then they can then.
I can put that in there. I also don't want you to get bombarded with emails, but I can put that in today's update and just say, any classes you'd like to see taught, please reach out to Susan.
Okay, well, I have like changed out enough doorknobs and hinges in my house to where I'm totally fine to like have some emails and have something else to do other than like anything in my house.
Well, I just created a poll on the private productivity coaching page, so that I did a poll, like, what do you guys want to learn next? And everyone's at different levels. And I'll create one on there, or you can create one on the Facebook page, a poll, and say, do you want to do listings, CMAs, and break it down like that. And then Matt can jump in and teach one. Justin can teach one. We can do a poll, and that way we can see what's going on.
And the 2 PMs that I'm doing, we keep them to a half an hour. That's it. So it doesn't, you guys don't have to get on there and teach a 3-hour class either. You know, it can be something that, you know, good content, direct to the point. And right now, I mean, you know, who's still showing houses right now? How do you guys?
There's some, well, I've got people showing for me.
Okay. Yeah. Do they have a system in place about how they're showing houses? Right? Because there's going to be some agents right now that are just so afraid to go out and show a house. Well, this is what you need. You need some gloves. You need a mask. It needs, if it's in Mecklenburg County, it needs to be vacant, right? All of those things that you maybe can just, if somebody wants to speak to that, what you guys are doing, and or who's doing that for you, what is kind of the policies and procedures? Because some people may just be stalling right now because they're like, I don't know how I'm supposed to do this, right?
Well, and if you live in Mecklenburg County, you're not supposed to be showing houses in any other county.
Unless you go to the grocery store in a different county.
What?
That was so the commission attorney said this, okay, is that if you live in Mecklenburg County, yet you go to the grocery store in Iredell County, and while you're at the grocery store in Iredell County, somebody calls you to show a property in Iredell, you can go and show a property in Iredell.
So, but would you put it through showing time and use your?
Yeah, you just so happen to be up there grocery shopping at the same time. And you gotta.
That was, listen, I'm not going to tell anybody to do anything illegal, okay? You guys operate your businesses the way you want to operate your business. You guys all saw that message that came out yesterday from the president of CRRA? Yes, no, maybe? Okay. He's looking for examples right now of situations where technically we have a fiduciary duty and responsibility to our clients. If a client has to go and buy a house and it's in Mecklenburg County and it's not vacant and they go directly to the seller to purchase that house, we as real estate agents aren't even given the opportunity to do our job and protect them to make sure they're not being ripped off, right? And so they're fighting right now, or I shouldn't say fighting, they're in talks right now with Mecklenburg County to get it lifted. We'll see what happens with it, yet that was the message that came out yesterday. Yes, Becca.
Well, and it was my understanding also that if there's money on the house, you're able to go. So technically you could put something under contract, sight unseen, and then go out
then
to
go-
the home.
Yeah, but you have to
Correct.
use that addendum and the on-site preview addendum or whatever that Rob sent out.
Right. So I'm saying like it's not like it's impassable. It's just that it's much more forethought into seeing houses. So
Yeah, I had somebody that's really wanted to see one of my listings in Northstone, and the seller's been very, cautious. And so somebody submitted an offer on our house yesterday, so that they, so trying to, it's a little cumbersome for sure, because,
Yeah.
but yeah, there's kind of ways to get around it, I guess.
And so CRRA is working as hard as they can to get it lifted. But you know what? In the meantime, we have to figure out what's best. And maybe, Susan, somebody teaching, a 30-minute to an hour on how to deal with Mecklenburg County right now. Maybe that's a good class to have.
Yeah.
Or even where to get the protective gear, because it's our responsibility to provide it.
Yeah, let me know.
Huh?
Shelter in place
Let
ends
me know.
next.
Say that again, Matt?
Shelter in place ends next week, as of right now. But
Don't jinx us.
Huh?
Don't jinx us.
All right.
yeah.
I know
Hey,
we've only
Hey,
got
PJ,
about 8 minutes, so I want to move forward. What was that, Susan?
real quick, one of my friends is a loan officer, whatever, at Movement. And Casey, the owner of Movement, every day at 5 o'clock does a 15-minute call that people can just jump on, like the leadership, and it's only the leadership, and people, you don't see everybody, but it's just where are we, what's going on, any new updates or whatever. And I know that you do your daily email, but something to consider maybe, I know that you do the 2 o'clock Zoom, but something like at the end of the day, or consider doing just like a quick 10 or 15-minute max. And
We do one already with the leadership at 9:45, and it's a quick little Zoom call, and that, I don't. Well, I guess I'll talk to the leadership about bringing the ALC members on. I don't think it would be a difference one way or the other if we had ALC members or not on it. Maybe that's what you're looking for, but it's really
15
just.
minutes, so all you high eyes have to keep it tight.
well, that's what I'm saying. Like they're like very 15 minutes, you're done. So
Yep. No, that's the way we are too.
yeah.
That's exactly the way we are. So, except when I start rambling, because we know I'm a high eye. So, as you can.
Okay, I hold the control button. I can turn the meeting off anytime I want to.
But yeah, we can send that. I'll send that out to all you guys on the ALC if you guys want to jump on. We do it Monday through Friday, 9:45 to 10 a.m. and that's it. And we've had to reconfigure that a little bit because of different schedules. So we're not changing the time, just to let you guys know. Katrina's got her coaching. I've got a team leader script practice role play that is mandatory for the region that I have to be on. So that will be the time, but I'll send that out to the ALC right after this.
And you guys can jump onto the coaching. If you want to, just to see what it's like, you're more than welcome to jump onto it.
Maybe just send that out, Katrina.
I'll put it back in because we have a private one, but I'm telling you, we spent 4 days breaking down the listing agreement, like in depth with true things, with an agent in Maine who's been in business 9 years, who's never had it broken down like that, with real life scenarios and stuff.
Yeah, no, that's awesome.
And we're doing a challenge together at the end of this week or next week where we are all lead generating together. And it would be great to have the office. I want to get with you, Matt, because Sue wants to check the times too. But I think that'd be great for us to lead by example. I'll shut up now.
Yeah, we got 5 minutes. I want to be respectful. I got 2 more things I need to go over. Number 1, bold pivot. Matt, I know you spoke to it on the pivot call the other day, that you guys have, you and 3 other agents, I believe. And so Christy Walker signed her whole team up now. Yes, Susan.
No, I signed up.
Oh, okay. Guys, it's $99. It is recorded, so you can watch it at a different time if you'd like. And right now, I think we need to, I think $100 investment in your business right now for something like Bold, which is typically 8 times that cost, or 7 times rather, I think is great for your business. And those agents that I'm talking about that you guys reach out to and have conversations with, this is something that could save and turn their business around. I know you guys have all heard the success stories of people who were, I don't know if I'm going to stay in this business or not. They go to Bold and they get a new fire lit underneath them, and it saves them from falling out of the business. So I would strongly encourage you to be reaching out to other agents and get them into Bold right now. The other thing with the new Bold pivot, and Tammy Young spoke to this on our team meeting last Tuesday, was that inside that Bold pivot, they're going to be having objection handlers to a lot of the objections that we're hearing right now as to why people won't get off the fence and do something in real estate. Also, as always, if you guys have any rock star agents that you're talking to right now, or people you've done great cross sales with, we have found that 1 out of 3 people that goes and takes Bold ends up joining Keller Williams. Guys, let me help them get into Bold, okay, and help to grow your downline. All right. We've got numbers that we're trying to hit. And if that doesn't work for you guys, I want to go to all my competitive people right now. David Morgan's talking trash about our office. Okay. And as a result, we have a bet going on who can get more people to Bold pivot. So if you want to kick David Morgan's butt with me, okay, go ahead and reach out, or at least put me in touch with the people around that. I'm talking to a couple of capping agents right now about moving their business over. I know I got 3 minutes. Also, in regards to that, there's a lot of companies out there right now, and I'm going to fact tell you this. This is not for you to throw up in anybody's face. McGarry and Associates, LKN, have both shut off their lead sources. Both of them had models where people were paying a higher split because of the lead sources, and they no longer have those lead sources. I'm sure a lot of mom and pop firms are doing that right now. So who do you know, guys? We have 80 firms in Cornelius alone, 80, okay? Who do you know and who do you need to be having conversations with right now? Because right now, we have a better split than EXP. We're at 85-15. We have the best split right now. Now, we know that that's temporary. We have the best fees right now, $35 a month to be an agent with our office. So, guys, make sure that you guys know what we're being offered. And, again, not on you guys to have that conversation or parts of the conversation that you're uncomfortable. Go ahead and just send it over to me, and I'm happy to get it across the finish line for you. Okay, 2 minutes. Last thing. 4 fundamental models. I've been having a lot of conversations with a lot of different real estate agents right now, and I'm not going to put anybody on blast here. Yet, do you guys know the 4 fundamental models? Okay, and if you don't, you use ELBO. Okay, so that's the economic. Okay, that's the lead generation. That's the budget and organizational. Okay, those are the 4 fundamental models. Do you guys know how to explain those models right now, if I were to ask you? So go back to page 173, 175, whatever it is in the MREA, and make sure you guys understand the 4 fundamental models, because we are going to be talking about them a lot, and that partnered with all of the shift tactics, okay? So make sure you guys are using that, understanding it, and you can explain it. And you guys may just discover some stuff about your business. Katrina and Becca, both of you, we sat down and did the 30-30-40 portion of the budget model in my office before all of this craziness happened. So I want to make sure that we recognize that. I've done it with some other agents as well, to make sure that you guys are making as much profit as you can right now. Because now more than ever is when we need to watch what we're paying out in expenses, and we need to make sure that we're moving forward in a profitable manner. So I'm really, listen guys, I'm not trying to be a jerk. I'm going to be on you that you need to know those 4 fundamental models. So don't wait. Go ahead and start looking into that right now. Katrina, you got the page there? I see you with the book. I think it's 173. You're muted, Katrina, Christina. Whatever.
175 it starts.
175. Okay. That's it. Okay. That's what I thought. Right around there. So guys, go and read those. Heck, go and read the MREA all over again right now. All right. Chances are something has changed since the last time you guys read it. I know we are right at noon right now. So Questions, comments, concerns, what do you guys have for me? Is this good? Is this helpful today?
A good meeting, PJ.
Okay. All right. All right. If you guys do have any other concerns you want to talk to me privately, please email me. And I will get to you when I get to you. I'm looking at my list of how much stuff I've got today. So we just got a lot of stuff going on inside the region. And really, guys, I can't say it enough. Help me, help our office by reaching out to those agents and just having a conversation. I think it'll make a world of difference with them. Guys, thank you so much for being here. We're a minute over. Have a good day. I'll talk to you soon.
Hi, guys.
Hey, guys.